ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Thank you, dear devotees, for joining this morning and seeking blessings from all of you. So, speaking on this important literature, Madhurya Kadambini, by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So, this book really what it is laying out the pathway for us, the 9 stages of devotional service, the step by step, how we get to from where we start in the beginning up until the prema bhakti, right? That's really what this book is about. And it's the English translation is the cloud of uh, this sweet cloud of mercy, because what happens is, as you can see, that the mercy keeps on increasing until we get on to prema, right? So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, and then Prema. So these are the 9 stages that we are talking about. And this morning, I was also just realizing that, can you imagine, like our acharyas, they were so pure, they have gone through this entire process, they have realized Krishna, they have reached the Prema stage. And then they have come back and then laid out the different steps for us, like common people. So we can even understand, right? What does it take for someone to get to Prema Bhakti? Otherwise, can you imagine, like, what qualification do we have? Like, even tiny, we don't have anything that we could be even understanding this difficult topic. But here are all our acharyas coming back, even if they have reached that prema stage, coming back and spelling it out for us. What does it take? And then here are our gurus in our disciplic succession too, that they take that difficult, concentrated topics, and then they are also making it like baby formula for us, right? And I'm just thinking that, like, just huge gratitude for what we have been given in order to even understand this difficult topic and this really serious, important path. I mean, this is not any other, what is that, the goal process in order to get to certain position or anything like that. This is really the position to get to Krishna. I mean, that's been what has been given to us. So as I said, just huge gratitude for what we have in front of us. So let's just do a quick review. We have been seeing the stages, right? So far, what we have done, right? We started with Shraddha. Shraddha, what it was defined as really was the faith in scriptures, right? And following that process. And we saw that Shraddha can be 2 kinds. It can be natural, or it is that forced Shraddha. And then we saw Sadhu Sangha. That's the next step. When the faith is slowly beginning to develop, right? And then we associate with sadhus, we take its association and guidance from devotees, right? And then we also take shelter of spiritual master and receive initiation in this period. And then Bhajana Kriya starts, right? So now we have guidance of our spiritual master, we have senior devotees, we have everybody guiding us, and we are starting the devotional process. And even Bhajana Kriya, we saw there is unsteady and steady bhakti, right? Those were the 2 different categories that were explained. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also went on to explaining unsteady bhakti, right? What does that look like, the unsteady bhakti? Utsahamai, which is the short-lived enthusiasm in the beginning, in the neophyte stage, we have that go up very high and then next just come down again, right? So that, very much fluctuation that we experience. Ganatarala, sporadic endeavor, again, not consistent, right? And then Vyuddha Vikalpa, indecision. We went through several different questions, and our mind just keeps tricking us, what is, should I do that? Should I do this? Very kind of that immature, not able to decide. Vishaya Sangara, struggle with Maya, all our attachments that we face every day, day to day. Then Niyamakshama, that is inability to uphold the vows, which is again, we create those extra things for ourselves, but we are not able to keep it up. Karangarangini, enjoying the fruits of bhakti, right? Because we get some of the because we saw when we start the bhakti process, two things happen, right? The two leaves come about, which was Shubhada and Kleshagni. So the Kleshagni is all the material distress starts going away, and we saw the different types also about the Kleshagni, also the different sources and the Papa and all of that. So that starts going away. Kleshagni happens plus Shubhada. We start to develop auspicious qualities within us, right? So then what happens? We start getting the fruits of bhakti. And Tarangarangini is we start thinking that we are enjoyers and we start enjoying that instead of having Krishna at the center. Now, after we discussed all of that, the last shower 3, really focused on anartha nivriti, which is clearing the material impurities. And we looked at the 4 different areas, right? What happens, the sources, where are these anarthas coming from? Anartha is the unwanted things, right? Nobody wants those anarthas, but we all have it. And where are they coming from? They're coming from the previous sinful activities that we have done in all our past lifetimes. They come from previous pious activities that we have done. They come from aparadhas, right? And we saw the full list of aparadhas, and then from imperfect devotional services. So those were the 4 reasons how they come from. And we talked about the previous sinful. Once we take up to devotional service, all of the sinful activities are getting eradicated. Previous pious activities also get eradicated. The tough one is that aparadha, right? Because this is something, aparadhas are the one that is actually connected with devotional service, because we are doing those aparadhas or errors or mistakes or whatever you want to call it, the things, but that happens when we are performing devotional service. And then from imperfect devotional services, then we get the respect, the title, the position, wealth, you name it, right? All that puja, pratishtha, all those things start coming. And again, those are serious distractions in devotional service, because our focus is Krishna and our focus is not any of these, but because they are all positive. See, the sinful activities, all of those were like kind of negative things, right? But here what happens is we are getting a positive things, and it can also start distracting us. We may not even realize. So we have to be very careful with all these distractions. But the good news is all this clearing of impurities, the antidote is really devotional service, right? So so that's the thing. The goal is that devotional service, getting on to the highest topmost devotional service, and the pathway is also devotional service. Like devotional service is just going to help us with all of this. But when we say devotional service, right, what does that mean? It's really serious deal, really from the heart. We are not talking about any external, wearing a sari, wearing a dhoti, tilak, and having a chanting bead bag by our neck and all of that. That's not what we are talking about. Actually, I was having a conversation with my daughter also yesterday. I was just telling, it is so easy to appear like a devotee externally, but that is not what the real deal is. The real deal is what's in your heart, right? And what is it that really, how to be really, really desperate for Krishna? And that is not something that is external. That is really deep within the heart, my relationship with the Lord. And it's really my thing. Like, I don't think anybody else can understand that or even relate to what I feel deep inside. So really what it comes down to is sincerity with the devotional practices that we are doing. So I just felt like that's such a deep thing. And then here, then they went on to look at the Nama Aparadas, right? And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur really focused on the first four, and then he said to review the rest of the six ones and basically understand that they are there, and also the and how to overcome all of those aparadas. But really heavy focus was on sadhu ninda. So also when he talked about the aparadas, he did mention that there are a lot of those aparadas, but then Nama Aparada being kind of was representing all of those aparadas. So as long as we are careful with the Nama Aparada, because all other aparadas we can be nullified as long as we are chanting the holy name in without aparad, right? Now without any offenses. So that's why Nama Aparad became the highest focus. And within that, he put a heavy emphasis on Sadhu Ninda because that's something again carries a lot of weight. I mean, that's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur focused that right there, right? Sadhu Ninda, being very careful not to commit any offense against devotees. And then he also said the third offense, which is Gurur Avagya, disobeying the orders of the spiritual master, also falls into the same category of Sadhu Ninda, which is um, blaspheming the devotees. Then the second one, he also clarified about the position of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma, that they are not independent or equal to Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are not independent or equal to Lord Vishnu. We have to understand Lord Vishnu's position. And Krishna, like, they being the origin of everything, right? So we wanted to clarify that. However, we have to be very careful and not disrespect and not do anything thinking that they are, kind of, as I said, like disrespecting or making them small or anything like that. That's the offense. Then we will be doing about that. And then Shastra Ninda, where it was blasphemy of the Vedas, right? Again, we saw that there are different Vedas, and all of those Vedas really was there written by Veda Vyas, because in order to help the different people in different fields of life, and ultimately the goal is that everybody will come to the path of devotional service. But again, who are we to judge or to say anything? So we have to be very careful with not blaspheming any of the Vedas. And then the ultimate goal of the Vedas is to know Krishna. Then these are, I just listed all of the rest of the offenses which we chant every morning. So I think everybody is familiar with all of these. But in all, one important point I want to emphasize is in all of these aparadas, what is happening is we are looking at something that is spiritual, that is transcendental, to be material. If you really look at that, that is the core of the offense, that we are interpreting something transcendental as material, and we are just causing all these offenses. So as long as we understand we have the right understanding, then all of these will not happen. And again, the biggest one here, which is also an offense, to be inattentive while chanting. Then we looked at the nullification of anarthas. Basically, there were all of these, right? The 5 stages of anartha nivritti, which is limited. Again, anartha nivritti started from the stage of bhajana kriya. It will go the way up until prema. However, like it gets completely eradicated in prema, but however, the tendency is still there. And then ultimately you go to Lord's lotus feet. But here is the first one, limited, and then pervasive, which is affecting many anarthas, and then general, praiti, complete, purna, and then absolute, which is atyanki. So absolute happens when we are with the Lord. Complete happens when we are in the prema stage. So again, all of these steps were explained. So with that, I'll end. This was just like a quick review, but then we'll continue to the next shower tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, devotee.